Hello there, and welcome to the Transformation for Success show today, the Cottage Woman Show. I am so excited again. We have another fantastic topic for you, part 2, women leaders becoming their own boss. And so I have with me today my co-host, Miss Jody Tucker from Canada, who's an executive leadership coach. I have Mr. Jean Booker, who's founder, CEO of the company called Maximizing Your Magnificence. And also none other than Desiree Giroux, my new BFF, who is founder, CEO of An Empowered Woman. She's also author, producer of her own talk show called Let's Talk Success. So I'm happy to have you all here today. I got it right.
Yes, way to go.
Right on. These are some dynamic women power brokers, really women of influence. And again, I am so happy to have you on the show today. I really mean that with all my heart, that you took up your time from your busy schedules to be on the show today to impart wisdom and knowledge to our listeners out there, our viewers out there, and listeners. Some of you may be listening and not even looking, but I want you to tune into the show. Call your friends and tell them that this is a treat today. Because if you're looking for a new venture of becoming your own boss, this is the show that you want to listen to. And also call your male friends too, because I'm sure they're going to learn something too today. So we're going to talk about some of the strategies, some of the things that we've learned in becoming entrepreneurs. I like that word, entrepreneur, rather than becoming your own boss, but becoming an entrepreneur. What are some of the tipping points? What are some of the things that you need to know before you launch? Do you know, one of the research statistics cites, there are 64% women in America who are entrepreneurs, but only 34% are actually successful. So today, this show is for you out there in the global world and community who are thinking about starting your own business. So today, this show is for you. So, listen, ladies, I know you're all entrepreneurs, and you got a lot to share, I know, on this topic. But I want to share one of the questions that came in to me from one of my viewers when I talked about having a show today. It says, look, I know personal branding is a big deal these days, so let's talk about personal branding. And if you're great at what you do, does your personal brand take care of itself? I think I'm shaking up heads.
Right.
Okay.
Nothing in business takes care of itself.
Okay.
Whether it's your branding, your marketing, or anything. I mean, it's always, that would be nice to know, but it doesn't happen that way. No. But it's easier when you're really, like you mentioned earlier, if you're clear about what your brand is going to be, and you're clear about what your mission is and your focus is, then it kind of enables you to speak from that, and everybody in your community or your team to speak from that. Then it just defines it even better. But sometimes it changes. Right. Like that's why you can't identify everything by it. Like I've been an entrepreneur since I was 12 years old.
Oh my goodness!
Wow! 12 years old.
Well, I was 9 doing lemonade, but did that count? What did you do at 12?
12 years old, I was teaching dance lessons at the local community center.
Oh, girl, get up and demonstrate.
I would go.
You need to get up and demonstrate.
I would go to lessons in the morning and teach exactly what I learned in the afternoon. I knew nothing more than that. When I went to class in the morning, we were doing a repeat.
That's true.
And when they got ready for the recital, and I got ready for the recital, when they had theirs, we had ours, and we had so many people attend the recital that they called the management and the city to shut us down because we were over occupancy. And for 12 years, I had no idea. I said, did you know that occupancy is like, what is occupancy? What is the word? Can you spell that, please? What is the word? Occupancy, like, what are you talking about? Yeah, we have people occupying this space. But anyway, unfortunately, because they're little kids, they didn't have the heart and parents in the audience to shut the show down. But as soon as we finished, the guys, that was the end of that. Yeah. It was a good lesson learned for me. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you know. Somebody else doesn't know that. Right. You can always take some talents and your skill sets and somebody else. That's right. That was the beginning. Once I had you were repurposing before you knew there you go. That's right. Before I knew my purpose. So
you think, now, did you have any role models, in the community in terms of business?
No. My mother, though, was, she was a hustler in her home sense. Like, when we needed extra money for me to go to modeling school, she bought some wigs wholesale and went door to door selling these wigs to people from the home, and we'd go into their house, they'd try on the wigs, they'd buy it, and that was the money from which she used for me to be able to attend dance school, modeling school, things like that. So her early days, exactly. If you want more, you do more. Yeah. Same thing I told you, what everybody else has, then you do what everyone else is doing.
Exactly.
If you really want to do more, you just do it a little more.
Creative.
Exactly.
Right.
So from that day on,
Right.
you know, I just knew that if I wanted more, because I always somehow wanted more.
Yeah.
But you had a good role model too, in the
Yeah.
sense of she maybe wasn't an entrepreneur in the true sense of it, but she certainly taught you something about marketing and your commodities and your goods and services.
And you know, the thing is, actually, she was an entrepreneur. She was the first African American woman to have a studio, photography studio in Philadelphia, on a major street, Broad Avenue. And
so
she
she
never went
was.
to school. She never went to school. She self-educated herself. She would, you know, so that's a story in itself. So she
Yeah,
was,
that is a
I didn't
story.
know that then.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess
Yeah.
that's what's like this pick that
Yeah,
from her.
that is a
Yeah.
story in itself.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's a way to
Yeah.
start the
No
conversation.
kidding. No kidding.
I mean, who else was 9? Who else was 12 starting a business?
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
did the
I was
Yeah.
teaching. I would bring my friends over in the garage and have them listen to me and play
Yeah.
school and play business.
There you
I
go.
did that. And I asked them later, I said, why were you listening to me? And he said, Chris said, because you were interesting. You had something to say to us.
There you go.
And so I was teaching and speaking at a very young age.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't charge them for it, though.
Okay, but
Yeah.
Right, absolutely.
you're giving them a
That you were growing
They were
into your
listening.
purpose.
Yeah.
Growing into your
Right,
purpose.
right. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was encouraging to them, so they
Yeah.
listened.
Yeah, I had sort of the same kind of idea. It kind of resonates with what I do now of organizing things in such a way that when people said no, I'd say, well, why not? What do you mean no? And I wouldn't accept that. So you know, I would do things like challenge the idea that, oh, you know what? I think your class, like our school class trip was canceled. You can't go. And I'd say, well, why not? Well, because we can't find a bus driver. So then I went to the parking lot after school personally and asked each bus driver personally, would you drive me? And I ended up collecting money in a peanut butter jar from all the kids. And I asked them if I could pull it off, would you want to go? And so I did it, despite the school administration saying, well, you can't do it. I remember having kids sign a piece of, like, the back of something. I don't know, it was a math test or something. You got to sign a waiver. So I wrote the words on the top, made them all sign it as they got on the bus. That was my waiver. There we go. And handed this bus driver a jar full of change. Here you go. We paid you. I know I didn't have the exact amount. She didn't care. She's like, awesome. And she drove us into the city to do our field trip. And the school administration just kind of shrugged their shoulders. And now I get paid to do that stuff. So,
Right.
you know, it's the same thing. And
I
I was,
hear you
I
there.
was in middle school when I did
Be the
that.
boss.
Yeah.
One of my concerns is that we have so many women, and some of the younger women, who are going into starting their own businesses. And, you know, I'm concerned because not everybody is doing very well with these businesses, and a lot of them have had to actually stop and get a regular job because they're not able to make it in business. So what do you think are some of the secrets to being a successful businesswoman? That's really the reason why I'm asking you this, because, and I know all of you will jump in, but because you have interviewed, as you said on an earlier show, that you've interviewed a number of successful women who are running big businesses, millionaires, you know, I hope some billionaires.
Yes.
Send them my way, please. Okay. But basically, was there some tidbits that you nudged, you know, out of them, or?
I think the thing, first of all, I think what we also discussed is that they were prepared, they're strong enough to prepare for the falling and for the getting back up. They were just strong enough and they're determined enough that no matter what happened, nothing would stop them. You know, and so that has to be a characteristic that a lot of people don't have. People are talented. You know, there's not a lack of talent. When people fail in business, not for the lack of talent, it's for the lack of tenacity and determination and then discipline. You know, because again, if you get to be willing to, it's a journey, and it's not all high, and it's not. I mean, sometimes I've been so wealthy, I had more money than I could count, but I've been so broke, I had nothing to count. You know, you have to be willing to do that. It's a lot of sacrifices. You sacrifice your life as you know it. Sometimes your friends, your family,
24/7.
and so exactly. You
24/7.
have to be willing to give up. You have to say, I'm willing to give up my life as it is today. You know, it's going to change. So even the way people see you, the way your family sees you, your friends see you, your peers see you, that's a vision. That if you're attached to that, then you have a problem. You have to be totally able to sacrifice your lifestyle, because that will change. You know, no matter how successful you are, it will change. And then also your relationships, like even with your partners. You know, your ability to date. I mean, that's a big thing right now. With successful women, can we date the kind of men we want, and what happens to that trajectory when you're trying to balance it out, and being able to stay feminine, being able to stay true. Then why? The biggest thing is your why. Do you want it because you want more freedom? Well, that's not going to happen. Do you want it because you want more money? Well, not necessarily so. Do you want to have control of your life? Not necessarily so. So what's your why?
Yes.
You know, like what's your why? And then you can say, why not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if you establish your why, then okay, why not?
Absolutely.
Why not?
I say that.
Right.
I call it the legacy. What is the legacy
Yeah.
that you want to leave
Yeah.
behind? Not your job. What's the legacy?
Yeah.
And just to piggyback on what you're saying, you have to move from having options to being non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be non-negotiable, right? And a lot of times we still have fear on the table.
Yeah.
We still have failure on the table. We
Yeah.
still have the sort of, kind of, maybe I'll get to it.
Yeah.
But it's hard, but it's
Right.
hard, it's hard.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's a challenge
Not
to
for
overcome
everyone.
that,
You have to
yeah.
really decide, is this really, a lot of, once we say the word entrepreneur, it sounds really the glam, right? The fancy of it. I like to say, listen, I got the receipt to show you.
Yeah.
That's what that
No
counts.
kidding.
Right? I have
Yeah,
the receipt, right?
exactly.
So it's really your mindset. Like you just, I want to be an entrepreneur, but why? What's the legacy that I want to leave behind? What am I leaving and offering behind to the world? What's my contribution here?
Yeah.
Right.
And what's stimulating me to continue in the highs or lows?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Spite
am
of.
being non-negotiable.
Right.
Taking the leap when I don't feel like it, right?
Right.
I'm being intentional.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, the day will change. Some days you won't
Oh,
be
my
so strong,
goodness.
you won't be so
Exactly.
empowered,
Right.
you won't
Say
be so
that.
disciplined.
Right.
So how do you get through that period and
Right.
keep going?
And the
That's what
setting
it's
will
tough on.
change too. You
Oh,
may,
yes.
you know, I remember that one of the most impactful things that I had someone say to me was a motivational speaker named Rex Crane, and he asked this question: "Tell me who you are without telling me what you do." And so when you come from that place, then your career starts to take on meaning regardless of the directions that you go in and where you flow in.
Right.
And you know, when I see women who are beginning in business, you can spend, you know, those little courses that you see all over Facebook and Twitter, you know, the 7-step, the 12-step, the 10-step, the 1, 2, 3, the ABC. They're very attractive, and I'm not saying that they don't work, but I think one of the failings with people who start out with trying to establish a brand is not acknowledging that you have a responsibility for knowing who you are before you take those classes. No branding expert, no marketing agency is going to be able to, you know, create and hand deliver to you a brand if you don't know who you are.
Right.
And I've seen businesses, women spend waste thousands of dollars on classes and courses and trainings
Just the one
because
square one.
they rush to market and
Yes.
don't
Right.
take
Yes.
time
Yes.
to know who you are before you launch.
Right.
And it makes it very difficult. I work with the marketing agency and I watch them struggle with, we've got these entrepreneurs who are just like, here's my business, here's my concept, build me something. and then they want you to come back with like the best website, the best taglines, the most polished image. And the result is, that's not me. And then what's the message back? You failed. You failed. And in reality, it's the entrepreneur who didn't take that responsibility. This is a partnership. And if I didn't enter into my branding experience with a full understanding of who I am and why I'm doing this, then you can't tell me who I am.
That's right.
Only I can tell me who I am.
Yes.
So rushing to market and not misunderstanding what branding is. Misunderstanding what that
Can we
is.
say that?
Yeah.
I wanted to say oftentimes
What is the brand?
people think branding is my logo,
Yes,
my
thank
colors.
you.
They do, and I say, no, that's not
No.
right. Well, I have this, Deshaun, here's my logo. Okay.
Nice.
Right. And they think they're done. I say,
Well, that's great.
right, that's great. It's my colors.
Where's my tagline? It's my tagline.
So I said, well, no, let's start from, and they get frustrated.
Yes, they do.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, they get
It feels
frustrated.
like
They
it's a
get
waste of
frustrated.
their
Absolutely.
time.
Absolutely. Deshaun, why are you asking me, Deshaun, who's my client base and what's my ideal client and what is it? Why are you at my clients? Everyone. I said, no, your client is not. I've had.
Everyone was scared.
Right.
You
She
know,
said,
everyone
I
was
said,
really-
no, that's not as
We
such.
can't
I
please
get what
everyone.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So just really redefining and having a mindset around business.
Yeah, yeah.
You may have a passion, and we talk about passion and purpose and your talents, but we often forget the business skill set. What business books are you reading, right? Who are you connecting yourself to? What communities, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's branding, not just here's my logo and my favorite color.
But see, also, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
That's the survival of a business. You have to realize that there's a door. There's a door that brings them in. So there's a front door and a back door.
Yeah.
So you see the front door can be all pretty and logoed and all that good stuff, and people come in. But if you don't have the business and the back door, then you lose. You won't be able to keep up.
That's
your
Right.
keep it up. And that's where they
Right.
fail. They don't
That's
fail for
where
the
they
lack of
fail.
talent,
Yes.
and then being able to
Yeah.
put things out there. But the back end,
Yeah.
the business, the legal,
Yeah, absolutely.
the
Right.
accounting, the
Right.
preparation, that part, they
Right.
don't want to do it because it's not creative, it's not fun usually.
Yeah.
Usually, unless you're
Right.
that girl, that
Right.
numbers girl,
Right.
that back end girl, it's
Right.
not fun for them. It's not
Yeah.
glamorous. It's not
But I
glamorous.
usually advise people, if you're in this for money, making money,
You're
I'm
Get a job.
think
sorry.
again.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the other part too, for
Absolutely.
me, is not having the resource base.
Mhm.
Because, address some of that, because really, you need resources. I'm going to take my savings. I just thought about a story. I don't want to share that. But taking your savings to start a business and not really having the knowledge and the know-how doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be successful. Because
That's right.
to me, it takes money, it takes resources, but also because I have a strong belief in God the Father, you have to be
Yes.
led. That's the direction that you're supposed to take.
That's right.
Because if it is His direction for you to go into that business, the money will follow. You have the passion. I'm not saying you're going to start a dog running business, but you're actually, because you're passionate about it and you feel led that you can help people through this medium, a business, and being that entrepreneur. I just want you to sort of, because Desiree's looking at me like she's giving me that look, and I know she wants to say something.
Well,
But
that's why I started an empowered woman, because me being in business all my life, to me it was like a natural, and I would see so many women that want to do it, but was afraid to do it and couldn't do it, and I said, what's holding you back? So I started bringing them to my home, and we'd get leaders and share their stories, challenges, victories, and secrets to success. And I realized that women didn't have the resources, like you said, even if they didn't have the money, how to get the money. Because not everybody successful had the money.
Right.
They
No,
created
how do you
it,
get
they
it?
got the resources,
How do you get it?
They didn't have that resources, and they didn't have the education. They didn't know that they could go get the money, venture capital, this and that, funding, but they didn't know that, and they needed a community.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's
the
that's
bond
that
that
that's
makes you through. That's what
bottom
made
line.
me through my tough times, is being
Yes.
able to know I could talk to someone who knew how I felt.
Absolutely.
And you can talk to your family, your friends, your mother, your father, and they're all going like, "I told you so," or they're waiting for it to happen. You have some people that are waiting for it to happen, waiting for you to come around and get that job, whatever it is. So you need to talk to someone that has been there, done that, and is still there and doing that.
Yeah.
And so that was so important. That's why we created this community of empowered women.
And that is so
So
great.
that when
That
you
is
fall
so
back,
great.
someone's there to catch you.
Right.
Yeah.
Like-minded.
Exactly.
Like-minded.
Right.
Yes, I got you. I know what you've gone through. You can tell me about that. I've been there and I've done that.
So I guess one of the first
Yeah.
steps
Bring me
is that
chills.
you really,
No,
you
it's
really need to look around you to see
Yes.
who among you, it's your personal board of directors. I call it your personal board of directors that can help you, and to talk about it when you have this idea. I want to go into business. Maybe to talk about it before you start to go, because I know that I had many people advise. I'm going to tell you frankly, I never ever dreamed of being a business entrepreneur. So I don't even tell people I'm an entrepreneur. Somehow I'll say, no, I'm a motivational speaker, transformational coach, but I actually am an entrepreneur.
You are an entrepreneur.
I did not want to be. I was like, I'm You
one
can
of
see me
us.
as an entrepreneur. Like, no, I'm a coach.
Right.
So one thing I guess is to really acknowledge and accept, who you are. But it takes anywhere from 3 to 5 years to even start to see. Do you agree? See that? Maybe even
People
more.
see all these overnight successes. They don't realize they've been 20 years.
That's
in
right.
the game,
The
in the
grind
game,
before the
exactly.
glory.
So they maybe have been they've been that technology or tech person for 20 years or 10 years or even 1 year. You have a head start. It's easy for them to do that.
Yeah.
I can usually tell, when a person comes to me, a young woman, whether or not you're going to have success of the way they're dedicated to it, because it's 24/7. Whatever you're passionate about, you're going to work, you're going to do it, you're going to be up there at 4 o'clock in the morning. I remember my son came to live with me for a short time, and I remember him telling me, Mom, because his bedroom was right next to my office, he says, you're up at 4? You're, 2? I said, look, I've been here since midnight, because there's things that have to be done. But if you're passionate about it, it's not work. So if it begins to be work, or about money,
Exactly.
So what kind of advice would you give somebody out there that's considering a business, or you're already in a business, but you're not sure because you're not really making it, you're not sure what next steps ought to be?
I'm going to first say this, ladies. You need to get quiet with yourself. you really need to get real with yourself, right?
Okay, get real with
you
yourself.
Can't get very,
All right.
yes, like what it really, all of the glamour and the glitz, get real with yourself. I love it. I also say, what is the why that's driving you, right? Yes, why are you doing this? And you really want to be very clear. I said it some time ago, laser focus. You want to know, why am I doing this? Not just because I want to meet Oprah. Not just because I want to really, I hear that often. Sean, yes, I hear those things. And I'm going to talk with Oprah. She's going to help me. And I said, but you're here today. What are you doing?
Sean.
Why are you talking to me? Right? What are you going to do today? What's your why? Right. And they're just like, oh, so really get quiet. It's painful. So get quiet with yourself, because it isn't easy. And I've told one of my friends before, I said, you have no idea. She said, yes, I said, no, you don't. I said, on the 15th, you're going to have a check that you know that you're actually getting. I am consistently doing what? Creating that for me, right? I'm doing that because that's what I've been driven to do, called to do. I mean, I love the work that I do. I love creating something and seeing it happen.
Right.
I love that. You have to love that. You have to love that. So I said, no, you really don't get it, because you're going somewhere and you're going to get something on the 15th or the 30th, and you know it's coming.
Yeah.
Do I always know what's coming for me?
Never know.
No.
Right. So get quiet with yourself and say, why am I in this? Why do I believe I'm choosing? It may just be something that you do consecutively with your 9 to 5.
Right.
And that's okay too.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a building point. And
Yeah.
then I've had, counsel young women and men, to build while you're on this career, and then build, and then so that you can segue into that when the time is right. But don't give up your day job, okay, for this. Tell me, Jody, I have a quick question, because in Canada, knowing there's a whole different culture and atmosphere as it relates to women in business, and so what's your take on how women are successful, or what do they need to know in Canada? I mean, it's not that different from the United States, but there are some differences.
There are some differences. I mean, geography and population-wise, we're far more spread out. There's a lot. The populated centers are far more. They're smaller than what you have down here, and that means there's entrepreneurs who live in rural areas are really. There's a lot of them. Home-based business, cottage-based business. For where I'm from, Victoria, on Vancouver Island. It is a mecca of the cottage industry, where there are more cafes, like mom and pop cafes, than there are chain fast food places. You'd have to eat out every day to hit every single one of them. There's so many businesses, and they tend to work together. So one supporting the other. So if I go to a cafe, this is brilliant in my mind as an organizational expert. Seeing one building housing a cafe who is then advertising the coffee that's being roasted just around the corner in the same building, and featuring the ice cream that's being churned just next door to them.
So there's collaboration.
And the bagels that are, so everybody tends to work together. And there are pros and cons to that. The pro side of that is when you build that network, you've got that network. The con side of that is if you fail, you let down a lot of people. So it's a cottage industry sounds like maybe it's a little bit more, easy, a little bit more kumbaya. It's really not. If you blow
like a cooperative.
You blow it in a lot of places.
It sounds like a cooperative.
But and I'm not saying that that's Canadian industry everywhere, but where I am, cottage industry is a big deal. So I'm having to learn how do I speak to the independent business owner who isn't necessarily looking at a Fortune 500 future. They're looking at making a mark, being known for something, and so they want their product to stand out amongst the millions. And I love that. And for me, the beginnings of being an entrepreneur is to understand, okay, I have a question, or I have something that I want to know and I want to do. And I really think that the whole idea of resources, to me, it also meshes in with resourcefulness, because nature pours a vacuum. If you have a question, you also have the answer. If you have a desire, you also have the ability. You have to, but you got to tap that stuff to be able to pull it forward. So I hear a lot of women hum and haw about, oh, I've got this great thing, and I'm thinking, as an I can see their business plan roll out in front of me. I can see the whole next 5 years, and I'm thinking, why aren't you doing this? And it's the fear that holds them back, and the beliefs that they're not resourceful enough to pull it off. Right. So when they hit a wall, they hit an obstacle, suddenly they go, oh, I wasn't meant to do this. And they stay in the warm, comfy place, and they don't take that jump into the, I see in my business, when I coach, I see typically two types of entrepreneur. One who's at the beginning and completely confused about what they're doing. And the second one that I see is the seasoned professional who's disillusioned with why they did what they did. And now they've put in money, effort, education. They've got a lot of, a lot at stake, a lot of skin in the game. And if they blow it now, they blow it in a big way. But they don't feel like they're in the place that they should be. And that's why that whole what I said in an earlier bit about tell me who you are without telling me what you do is so critical. Because when I made the jump from being a clinician to being a business coach, for me, for a lot of people, they were like, what are you thinking? You just became the expert. Why are you leaving one industry to go to another? And really, it wasn't that big of a leap for me because it was the same. It's the same. Look at it pulls through. And so I had to explain to people, no, that's my identity from being that young girl to this pulls right through. So I leave one industry and I moved to another. I didn't sacrifice me. I left a career to be true to me. Yeah, it's still me. And then people go, oh yeah, I think I get that. But you can. So I guess what I'm saying is an entrepreneur isn't a one-time kind of deal. Like let's say you're.
It's a life journey. It's a life commitment.
To me, that's a natural progression of an entrepreneur is to have a second, a third, a fourth kind of renewing of self to say I did that, then I did this, and my goodness, when I tell people what I've done, I sit back and go, oh my, I had no intention of doing any of those things, but the truer I got and the clearer I got about who I was, all those shifts and left turns and hard rights made sense.
But I feel like the life that we live is a building, it's stepping stones, building blocks, so to speak, to take you to the next level. And so for those women who are out there in some of the other countries, they may not have the advantages that we do because a lot of the women have challenges trying to get their goods and services to the marketplace and to be identified as a woman owner. So I just want you to sort of address women globally that we leave them a message about business entrepreneurship who are listening out there.
Well, entrepreneurship is about adding value to people. So whether that means you are doing something large scale that requires a second location, or you're pulling people into your home and cooking or creating or whatever it happens to be, I don't think I don't think entrepreneurship is so one dimensional that we have to think about as success is defined by someone saw me in a magazine, or I'm going to go meet Oprah, therefore I am successful. Anybody who didn't make it there, you're not an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is just someone who's adding value to people.
Well, there's a growing number of women across the globe in all these different countries who are venturing out, becoming businesswomen. And I'm reminded when I go back to the good book of Dorcas, who was a businesswoman.
Yes, she was.
And I don't know, that just popped into my head that since the beginning of and before Christ, there were women who were business owners. And Dorcas was a seamstress, and she made all these beautiful clothes. And then there was Phoebe, who she and her husband were they were in business together. So we see that we look historically, if we look from a biblical perspective, business entrepreneurship for women has been since before Christ. So it's that. I just wanted to say on that note of encouragement that yes, we are and should claim to be business entrepreneurs, but we do it in a way that is systematic, knowing who you are, having a business plan, having a purpose, and making sure it's your passion. So we're going to have to leave you today, but we want to just say to you out there, all of you who are watching this show, stay tuned to the Total Woman Show because we got a lot of good stuff for you. And I just want to give a big old shout out to my co-hosts today because they were marvelous. us.
Absolutely.
And thank you for viewing this show. And we'll see you next week because we've got another hot topic. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be something, it's called Broken, Yet Not Unbroken. So stay tuned for our show next week. Call your friends. Tell them you've got to view the show, The Total Woman Show. And this is Dr. Barbara Young, your radio and TV talk show host, signing off. And I want you to send your comments to me at drb@transformationforsuccesstv.com. We appreciate your feedback, and thank you for viewing this show. God bless you.